Welcome back to Arsenic Culture. I am Matt.
Jason. Still Jeff.
And what we have here is the original double barrel bourbon on steroids. Old Forester is actually, I looked this up, so it's definitely true. It's on the internet.
Is it Wikipedia?
ESPN.com.
TikTok. Was it TikTok?
Yeah. It was actually the Old Forester TikTok page, and it's the distiller, and he's doing a TikTok dance to a Camila Cabello.
In a minute, I'm gonna need a cinnamon roll to pump me up.
But Old Forester is actually the longest selling brand of bourbon. I did not know that. Yeah, it's like 150 years old, and this is the first bourbon to be sold in sealed glass bottles. I guess because they're all doing decanters back there.
I didn't know that.
Exclusively.
Back
I guess
then it was a bucket.
Yeah, it was
a milk jug.
Yeah, it was just like
You want some bourbon?
They went to that same place Matt went to in Alabama for beer. They give you a milk jug. You fill it off
and they
the
just fill it up. Yeah, they went to your bar mitzvah.
It cost a nickel.
They went to your bar mitzvah place and they got pictures of bourbon. Everybody's
bar
puking.
mitzvah place.
What are you talking? What's it called?
No, it's not a bar. I didn't have a bar mitzvah there.
That's what you said. That's exactly what I said. That's what I said. Right?
That's what I heard.
That's what I said. The 1910 series was the first double-barreled bourbon, double-barreled bourbons, and it was done out of necessity. And this one took it an extra step. So tell us a little bit about that. So
let me have the 1910 bottle there too. So the 1910, what Old Forester started doing, there's a 3-bottle set that kind of went back in time and gave you the consumer a glimpse of what it was back then, right? Yeah. So you can't recreate it to perfect, I'm sure, but I'm sure they can get close. So with 1910, the reason they have that year on here, this was a year that they had a fire in their bottling line.
You said a fire?
I said a fire.
Fire?
Fire. That means it's hot, Jeff. It's hot.
It was burning with oil.
In the heels.
It was an oil fire. Anyway, so while they were getting ready to bottle, they had a fire on the bottling line.
Now I understand.
I will make sure I enunciate for you, Jeff. So they had a fire, and they're like, "What the hell do? We got the bourbon transfer from the barrels into like holding tanks to bottle." So we're like, "Screw it, let's put it back in the barrels."
What year is this?
1910. The actual
this is
the damn bottle. Come on, man, keep up.
I zoned out for a second.
Zoned out like 24/7.
For everything I can find, this was actually like the first double barrel bourbon that I'm aware of that I can find because of a fire.
A fire.
That's right. So that's what this one is. And then the extra old is actually this bourbon. It's a special release, and it's aged just like this one is. So this one's double barreled, and then this one is double barreled, plus they put it into a third barrel.
It's triple barreled.
Almost. And it's aged 18 months. 18 months.
It's a barrel within a barrel.
It's like barrel porn.
So if you see the title of this one, though, and it's smaller.
It's got nice type on it.
This is a 375. This is a 750.
Milliliters, yeah.
Correct. So fifth and half fifth, whatever. But on this one here, the 117 series is actually, it's done by their master distiller, but she's called a master taster. Her name is Jackie Zykan, and she's pretty renowned. So this is her baby, the 117 series. I think this is a third release out of it.
So she's doing all the distilling.
From my understanding, here's the backstory on her. So I think she moved to Louisville, was going to medical school maybe, and started like bartending and stuff. And then the people from Brown Forman, Old Forester, were coming in there like, man, she's just like the face we want, right? Like she knows her bourbon. She's doing all this stuff. So they're like, hell, we'd like to offer you a job. So I think she went the route.
Them.
Well, no. Kind of. Like it's an odd position. Her official title is master taster.
Master taster. So she's got a great palate.
Correct. So, but to be a master distiller, you have to know the process. I mean, I'm sure we could study up on this and all three of us could figure out how to distill. If we had that product and had a manual.
Let's do it right now.
Just go in there in the toilet, Jeff. Start making some toilet wine.
We're good.
Fire.
Yeah. We'll put it out with ass.
So from her, though, I mean, if you look at like blending and tasting is 90% of the game, maybe almost all of it, right? I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Because if you can't taste what the hell you're putting out, then why would you put your name behind it? So Old Forester's proud of her. I mean, everything she's done has been well received, but this is the third in that one, and I'm very anxious to try it.
I really like Old Forester.
Yeah. So let's give a little bit of history behind them there. I think Jeff was talking about what they're named after. So they started in 1870, and the guy that started them was George Garvin Brown. And the reason they're named Old Forester, it was actually after a doctor, Dr. William Forster.
So not a forest.
Not a forest. I see. And then they're actually, so do you know who owns them now, Jeff?
Heaven Hill?
That would be wrong. That's a good guess. Brown Forman. Yes, good. So what other brands does Brown Forman own? Do you know, either one of you?
Everybody. I don't really know.
Yes, they
own a shit ton. You're right.
They own
Old Number 7. You know who that is?
They own Bardstown.
You know who's Old Number 7? Black Label. Keith Richards used to drink the shit out of it.
What's that?
Jack Daniels?
Oh,
Jack Daniels.
Oh, that's right. They own Jack Daniels. That's correct.
So, and then also Woodford Reserve.
And Woodford Reserve.
Yeah. And then their master distiller is actually Chris Morris is his name. He's been there since 06. So let's start with, we'll pour both of them. Mm-hmm. We'll start with the 1910 and then go to the 1910 Extra. That bottle of Old Forester 1910's open, so I think both of y'all have had it before. Yeah. We'll talk about that one too, but did you enjoy it when you first had it?
Oh, I love that one. Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good. I thought at the time when I bought it, there was this rumor that it was going to be discontinued and that it was a great product, and it is a good product. I don't think it's as great as the internet led me to believe, but what is, right?
Well, I think... before we came over here, I actually asked both of you, or asked Jeff to bring a bottle because I didn't have one. They're not the easiest thing to find on the shelf. Just a regular 1910. I mean, you can find it. It's not like it has a huge secondary or anything, but it's not. It's not
Are
every
they still
day
making
one.
it?
No, they're still making it. Yeah.
So just
I mean,
keep an eye
I
out
don't
when
think
it comes
there's.
back out
I don't
again.
think there's any. Well, they have some at Total Wine, I'm sure, at some point.
That's where I got it. Total Wine.
Yeah. So here's the extra old. Sorry.
We can call it extra old.
I was wondering why you
can't, right?
Why
I
you
liked
were
it better.
throwing that other
It's
extra
coin
on there.
I mean, I want to throw the other extra.
But you
Because the
can't.
extra-
There's
I think
only
we
one
should.
extra. I think you're being a little hyperbolic with the extras here.
But I wanna
They
be
don't
extra,
just get dished
Jeff.
out. You have to
I want to be extra.
earn the extra.
I'm extra. I mean, I just am. So the extra aging gives it the extra name, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. So let's get a little taste.
They look about the same.
They do look about the same. So again, it's the same bourbon. It's just actually aged another
older.
18 months in another barrel.
It's
Now,
wiser. It just knows a lot more.
It does no more. What do you
and
think?
Hey, would you say that it knows extra?
I'd say it was extra.
And so it is extra.
Extra. Bourbon is here.
It's 1914, Jeff!
1910. And the boys are drinking bourbon. The Sox are in the series.
So the nose of the 1910, I mean, it's good. I mean, it's kind of rich caramel to me. Definitely oaky, but I mean, that's what it is, double oak. So first impression.
Did you go for the extra first or the?
No, I went for the regular 1910. Yeah. But remember, the regular 1910 is double barrel aged.
Dude,
It blows your mind.
dude, where's my barrel?
Take your mind, stuff it back in.
It's like, what if the world is a barrel in my thumb? No, it is. It's a nice caramel, almost a banana
I've
caramel
noticed
taste.
that's a recurring trait with you. Most bourbons and tequilas and
Have caramel.
everything is a caramel.
They do actually have caramel.
Yeah, everything's just caramel.
Life's a caramel.
So you
Right, Forrest Gump, Old Forester Gump.
Life, as my mama was telling me, life is a caramel. You get stuck in your teeth and you can't get that
I
damn
don't think
shit
that's
out.
what he said. I don't think that's what he said. Though.
That was the outtake. I
Oh,
think.
okay. So have y'all heard of Elmer T. Lee? You know what that is? So okay, never
He was
heard of
chasing the rabbit.
That's Elmer Fudd.
Gotcha. I guess I was confused.
That's close. So Elmer T. Lee's bourbon, but it was also, he guy worked for Buffalo Trace, right? So if you go on YouTube and
right now,
our buddy Anthony showed me this one. Shout out Anthony. So if you look on YouTube, he will give like reviews of bourbon, and his reviews are it's smooth, vanilla, maybe oaky. I mean, I'm like, holy shit, that's a great description.
That's like everything that I would
That's
say.
everything I've ever heard.
Of every bourbon.
So what tasting notes are you getting on that regular 1910, Matt? Anything? Just the regular one, not the double.
Smooth. It's vanilla. Oaky.
Caramel.
That's a new Elmer T. Lee.
I
Just
know,
a little
right?
hat.
Yeah.
A little hat right there.
Caramel.
Good.
Caramel.
So this is why I know that you are a big advocate of higher proof bourbons, and I enjoy
For the
good
most part,
higher
yeah.
proof.
This was 93, I think. Look, double check.
Well, this one is is. It is 93.
Yeah.
See, that's like anything sub 100 to me. I like the approachability aspect of it. I don't like it. I'm not saying that like, oh, I just like it because it's low in alcohol. But when you are able to take away a little bit of that sting, I feel like you can pull out more of the flavor. Obviously,
It opens up.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, but it doesn't. The burn doesn't distract from the ensemble.
Correct.
If you know what I mean.
Well, that's why people add cubes, right? I mean, if you go to tasting it, if you ever have the chance, I would recommend anyone go to Heaven Hill and do their bourbon tasting experience. I've been there a few times. It's great. So they'll pour you like 3 or 4 different ones. Some of the rare stuff too, and you'll have an opportunity to buy a bottle or bottle your own. But they'll give you droppers of like limestone water.
Yeah.
They'll say try it straight first, and then they'll say try it with a drop, try it with 2, whatever you like. So you'd be surprised how much it opens up. I think the first real bottle that I've really tasted and smelled the difference was Hibiki. It's that Japanese whiskey.
Okay.
And my old boss actually bought me a bottle of that, and I was like, "Oh, thanks, that's great."
Is that the one they age in coffee barrels? Coffey?
I don't think
you didn't want a bottle of Japanese
I think it's
whiskey?
like Nika or something. But
Okay,
I don't know that very well.
that's okay.
So
Why didn't you want a bottle of Japanese whiskey?
Well, I mean, hell, I don't drink it.
Why not?
Well, I've never. I mean, it's not something I look for.
Would you want a bottle of tequila?
I'll take Japanese whiskey.
You would take Japanese whiskey over tequila?
Yeah.
Japan it wants all of our bourbon, right?
Yeah, no.
There's a reason for
So
that.
let's grab some of theirs.
There's a reason.
Let's
here.
get theirs. Teach them a lesson.
No.
I don't think,
So it's like
Never send this guy to like a trade deal.
Well, okay. I could see this though. It's reverse psychology. Oh, your whiskey's so much better than ours,
You
right?
saying no Japanese whiskey is good?
I mean, it's not my thing. But let me finish my story. So
That was very politically well said.
it was. So he bought me this bottle of Hibiki, and I'm like, oh, thanks. He goes, no, try it straight. He goes, but put a little ice in there. Put a little water in there. Ice. So I did, and I'm like, holy shit. Like, it changed from to that's pretty damn good. I mean, it really, like, it was, it opened up. So I appreciate you saying lower proof. I don't think because I drink 130 just makes me, my palate's better. It's not.
Yeah.
I just look for different flavors.
Yeah. Like this one, I feel like I can even pull out some sort of spice note in there. I don't know if this has any rye at all in it, but I am getting some sort of like kitchen spice in it that would be akin to rye that kind of get on the back, actually on the front that I really enjoy. And I don't even remember that from the last time that I had it, but admittedly, I don't drink a lot of the 1910.
Sure. I've got a bottle of 1920 open at home, but Jeff brought up a note a minute ago with banana, and I could see a little bit of that. I think the bottle that really brings it out is 1897. So in the same thing, the Old Forester, if you next time you see it at a tasting bar, if you get a bottle, it's probably $50-$55. Tons of banana from
I don't think
one.
I've had that one, but I do get banana from there.
But if you get a little bit from here, that one's like 10 times. So what do you think about the extra?
I haven't even tried it yet.
Okay. I mean, the nose is pretty similar to me.
See, I think it has a different taste.
I've not tried it yet. So Jeff, what do you go ahead and compare nose, whatever you want to do?
I think a little harsher. I think the taste is a little more stringent, a little harsher.
I see what you're saying. No, you're right. I don't think it's unapproachable, but you're right.
No, not at all.
You're right.
But I think it's not as smooth as the regular 1910 is for me.
Double check the proof. Make sure it's the same 93, Matt.
A little bit of baking spice.
It is 93. Yeah, they're both 93.
I don't know if a little extra time in the
They're both
barrel,
the
but
exact
it
same.
does feel to me.
I feel it though.
Yeah.
Well, generally, more time in the barrel equals more oakiness, right? I mean, it's just, you might pick up some more barrel flavors or the char, whatever.
We have
So
barrel flavors.
we also don't know what this barrel was aged in. I mean, what the barrel was they aged it in. I'm assuming just another bourbon.
You don't think a
barrel.
new barrel?
Yeah, it had to be a new barrel, new charred, I would assume. I don't think they re-barreled it back in the same one. It doesn't say that. So, yeah. But, okay, so more harsh. Any other flavors you're getting?
I'm getting like a little bit of cherry on there. I feel like this one actually is more full flavor, not full bodied. It's more full flavored to me than the last one. I feel like the original 1910 was really kind of smooth through and through, and I got a little bit of that spice. And this one I'm getting, it's a little more aromatic, and I'm getting some cherry on there too.
I think the difference for me is I get what you're saying about the first one. I only think I give my tasting notes, but from the original 1910, I could see a little bit of that banana, that clove, whatever. It just kind of goes together like I get that from the beer background, like a Hefeweizen or something, just whatever, or a Belgian yeast strain. So for me, I think the 1910, the 117 series extra old has maybe like a little more like pecan, like a caramel pecan to me versus the other one.
I can get that. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
That's probably, it's interesting you would say harsher. And I don't know that I disagree. Mm-hmm. I think it might be a little. Now, here's the difference, though. How long have you had that bottle open, you think?
6 months.
Okay, so it shouldn't be anything crazy. And that one just got open. Right, so they've done studies, so there's not a difference. I would disagree. I would say if you had a bottle open that long, there would be a difference. So
people have said they don't taste the difference between these two bottles.
There's actually been like analytical things, like doing double blinds and shit. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of the guy's name that did it. I think it's Wade Woodyard. But he did like a study or posted it online talking about it. And don't get me wrong, I think he knows what he's talking about for sure. He knows more than I do, no doubt. But they were saying there's no difference analytically. I think I disagree. I think having the bottle open for a long time would change it some. A lot of people talk about the neck pour too, though. The neck pour is hotter, more alcohol fusel forward, and that's what this is we're getting. So
I would agree with what you're saying. When these things are bottled, there is very little airspace in there, and you are essentially oxygenating it when you're opening it, allowing air to get in there, and that has a very big impact on the overall product. No, I would agree with that. Like, I think the molecular compound of the like fluid would maybe not change.
Damn, right? Son, you're a scientist suddenly.
Yes, sir. A drunk scientist, a drunkentist.
Did you go to college?
But I still think that like the overall flavor profile, maybe like I don't know. The volume of the phenols, I don't know. Do they have volume? Like the way that they're actually delivered to your palate would change.
I don't know how they say there's no difference.
There's just fucking huge.
What do you mean? No,
they
difference?
Just taste
between these
very
two.
Different. These two.
I think it's very.
I think it's actually pretty pronounced. Now, here's the thing: I don't know that I could do. If you gave me these two blind, I don't know if I could tell you which one's which. I'd take a stab at it. I'd probably be wrong.
I think I could.
I don't think I could.
I think I could.
I mean, there's a difference. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I'd be flipping a coin. So I mean, So I'll give you my tasting or my final thoughts in a minute. But Jeff, so let's talk about price. So the 750 is fairly available. The regular 1910,
maybe in the 50 range.
It's 55. Okay, so that's a buy. I think. Yeah. Oh yeah, I think all of us would agree. You think 55 for that's fair? Would you have a bottle?
I do. I have a. I'm a little. The fact that it's a 375.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about the big one.
Oh, the big one. Yeah. That's 55.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have a bottle, so
yeah. So I mean, I think that's honestly. I think if you like those bourbons, I would encourage you to have all those. The 1897, the 1910, 1920. They're all
very
different.
Rare 1977.
Yeah, that was. Does it have bell bottoms on the cover? So anyway, though, I think that one's a buy. I mean, secondary on that one, you might not always find it on the shelf because we can't always hear, but I don't know if there's a secondary. Maybe $80. So, yeah. I don't know, $75. So it's a buy for me on both sides. On this one, no. Now this one's a tricky one.
The
extra old.
Extra.
There's two extras. Oh, baby.
Yeah.
So anyway, this one's $55 retail. Now, sorry, $50 retail, but it's half the size of that one. So equivalent, that would be $100 compared to $55. So let's start there. If that was $100 for a fifth, the same size as this one, Jeff, would you buy that if you could get it?
If it's difficult to get,
it's allocated.
Yeah. And I saw it one day, I would get it because I would share it.
Okay, Matt, $100. That'd be retail.
This is I don't know. It would kind of be. This would really come down to how I was feeling that day when I came across it in the.
You're in a good mood or a bad mood?
Pretty much.
You hadn't had your Snickers yet?
Yeah, if I got paid that day and I'd be like, hey, I need something new on the shop.
Daddy got some cash to burn.
Yes, sir.
More money.
I don't know if I would go out of my way to get that for $100. Yeah. I don't dislike it, but So I feel like there's a disparity in what I'm actually saying here, but like the original 1910 does taste different to me than the extra. But
That's country.
yeah, but the way it tastes, like for the price, I think I prefer that one.
Exactly.
Okay, both of you prefer that one if they're equal?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel bad saying it, but
No, I
yes.
don't think you feel bad saying it. Here's what
You
I
make
would
me
say.
so nervous when you put that bottle by the edge.
Yeah.
Put it closer to the edge. Put it a little closer. Have a little bit hanging off, Matt. Watch him cry. I want to see Jeff sweat.
I want to see him cry.
So my thoughts on this one is, if I'd had that one first, and I enjoy that one,
Right.
I would be super
That one would be
excited.
1910.
The regular 1910,
Yeah.
the one that you should be able to buy
For
most
our
of the time.
listeners that aren't
Yep.
watching our fucking show, watch it, you fucking vagabonds.
Why aren't you
Wait, if they're
watching?
listeners and they're watching, right?
Subscribe, like. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Somebody runs that. I don't know who it is.
We're on Woof.
We're on Wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff is on OnlyFans. You gotta
We're on
fucking
OnlyFans.
check it out.
We pay you a nickel a month just to be on there for us.
Friendster.
Yeah, if you ever want a
Tweak.
good, yeah,
Run Tweak.
if you ever want like a good
Bumble,
like
run
cry,
Bumble.
if you want to cry in your room by yourself, watch Jeff's OnlyFans. It'll get the job done.
But that's
great.
what people
Yeah.
are paying for.
yeah, $6
I
well
don't
spent.
think
Wait,
anybody's
who's
paying.
crying? You're them.
No,
Both.
both.
Both. That makes sense.
So for me though, if I've had
That's what we call a double climax in the industry.
Extra.
extra. Back to the just regular 1910, you should be able to find on the shelf most of the time. So if I'd had that one first, I would be super excited to try this one, and I was when I had the opportunity to
Right.
get this one. I actually traded for this bottle, but
Wait, did you try this before us?
that I traded for it.
Oh, you haven't tried it yet, though.
I have, ain't gonna lie.
Why didn't you wait for us? That's
motherfucker.
rude. How
Well,
rude.
let me tell you why I tried it before. I got to try it at a tasting bar for like $8, and I didn't think I'd ever have a bottle. Like it's that rare.
Jesus Christ, the fucking curtain has just been pulled.
Thanks for the invite.
The Wizard of Oz is actually just a guy in a top hat behind the curtain.
I actually feel cheated on right now.
Unbelievable.
I feel like I've been
should.
cheated on.
Yeah, let's
should.
go. Let's get the fuck out of here. I'm done.
Fuck this.
All right, welcome to the Jason channel. So for me though, I was super excited to get this bottle. I didn't think I would. Even the first time I tried it, I thought it was worth it for that. But again, $100 retail for a fifth of that, the extra old, versus $55 for that one. I don't know that it's so much more. I would buy one bottle. I don't know that I'd buy a repeat bottle.
Right.
Now, secondary on that one, you're looking at $250 for that bottle.
Nope.
That's a tough one. I wouldn't say that.
No, absolutely not.
$250 for a 375.
$375. That's a lot. I mean, but bourbon, though, man, bourbon's crazy. And,
I get it.
And this is a finished bourbon, so it's it's went back into a different barrel. It's probably a bourbon barrel, whatever. But that's where the game for all you woke people, or the aware people out there, the game of bourbon. That's where it's went. It's went to all finished barrels. So you see like the Nulu picks. Like if you go to Liquor Barn, Total Wine, they have 18 Nulu picks with different color wax.
Jesus Christ.
It's like this one's cognac, this one's apple brandy. They're all shit.
It's like bourbon's turning into beer. Remember all the
Yeah.
Eclipse 50/50s?
Yeah, that's exactly what Nulu is.
That's
Their
ridiculous.
Eclipse. Their Eclipse.
Yeah,
I mean, no
fuck
offense
that.
to them. I mean, I'm sure you can make some good product, maybe, but whatever.
I've never tried Nulu, I don't think.
I wouldn't advise it. Sorry, apologize, Nulu. But anyway, I think
Well,
it's,
they're not our sponsor anymore.
there goes that one. But I think it's worth it one time for me for like $100 if I can get this for retail. So $50 a bottle for $375. But I'm not sure I'd do a repeat purchase, and I definitely wouldn't pay $250. Would either of you?
No, I'm out.
All right. But I'm glad I tried it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
I think it's good for what it is. If you got the option of both, stick with a 1910. in my
Agreed.
opinion.
More readily available.
Yeah, yes, sir.